Do you see? Do you see? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. This is your host, Proud Lane, certified beta male simp manjana. Whatever is no game. The socially awkward nerd Christian Paul is up in the building, and we are going to conclude this example of data visualization when it comes with the Lovoo app, focusing more on the activities of the user automated programming interface, or user application programming interfaces, right? That's been used within each user, and based on the activity, each user mainly is a female, and we're basically sending the activity on each of the female profiles that actually been there. We're actually going to focus more with the activity as well as the results. Now, what we have, ladies and gentlemen, is the activity when it comes to the Lovoo user API interests that took place within around the 2 months of 2015, that shows measurements of the activity on like how much heat their profile has been getting, right? And so the main target that they have here, and this is literally out of 2,000 viewers, which is when we go to like each individual user there, it's actually going to take a while for us to actually try and dig into each individual, and that's actually going to kill us so much time, which I don't want to do. I'll definitely get straight to the point. I will provide a site, however, for you to actually go try and look into this graph for yourself and actually go see through all the details. But the primary iteration that I want to focus on, ladies and gentlemen, is the number of profile visits that has been taking place and has been shown. I've actually created models that actually compare between all the types of counts per each user. And the findings that we found through Tableau is mainly through the overall profile visits that each user mainly has. Whether or not, a dude actually want to come by and date, or, try to play along and have a little bit play thing, or he just wants to go and pound some chicken up in the kitchen, if you know what I mean. So, when we get to that, right, you see all this data that's actually shown. Now, let's focus on the outcomes when it comes to each female user API. Do you see? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the global locations of each user that basically are having users that are looking for either men, women, or both, or they're just mainly just seeking attention, right? So if we actually scroll down and actually dig a little bit deeper, if we actually zoom into the chart that's literally there, we have basically the stuff. We scroll down up where they're looking for both. Let's try to scroll to locations 1 second. Where they look for both, we want to focus on this realm here and see all the locations that you actually see down here. You see all the Denmark locations that are literally out there. All of these locations that you literally can see, right? You show the stuff that's there. London, Denmark, Europe, all of these spots that are there. Mainly are located up in Denmark, other places up in Europe. Maybe Great Britain is another one. All that is stuff that came about. So if we go for the females, looking for females to probably hook up or date at least, One is basically looking for one in the States, in the United States of America, and others are looking for all these other various places up in Europe. You see down here. Scroll down for the women looking for the men. We have one actually coming in New York City that's actually looking for a man up in New York City that's seeking one female there. You got another female seeking a male up in Jamaica that's there. And all these other locations with all these other men that you see are located all over Europe. All over Europe. To the extent you got one coming in India, up in Asia, one coming by Indonesia, one coming in Australia, another looking for someone in Brazil, and then we got these actually just come by and just want to try and get all this attention that's literally coming by. And you see all the locations that you see literally down here below. Now I've integrated a scatter plot actually studying basically the movement as well as the attention for each user, and basically how many people are actually looking when like gender looking, both like male, female, both, none. Basically see which has the most attention if we actually scroll down and actually go through all these charts. The count details actually verifies the highest level of attention within the user. The higher the attention, the better that you see up in the scatter plot. If you go further high up, the higher the score within the details and the fans. Shows how stronger the attention span, how stronger the attention profile is when it comes to each user, when it comes to all the counts details, when it comes to certain counts, basically when it comes to women, you see the strength there, as well as some certain kisses, and how well the team is going and where the bunch of the flock is. So scatter plot is mainly a map of where basically on where the users mainly score, or whether they're on par with on average with the average user based on average of the rest of the viewers, or do they stand far out in anatomy, which is the purpose of what a scatter plot mainly is. As you see up in the pictures, you see based on the attention level that you actually see that's actually down packed, which one has like the highest scale profile that you see literally up based on the data that has actually been given to us. So it's a very, very interesting viewpoint when we actually try and dig into stuff like this. Now let's go move on to the bar plots. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the bar plots that actually deal with the users that actually are seeking partners, whether they're seeking for both men and women, bisexual, basically women, men, or just want attention for themselves. And you see all the statistical numbers that you actually see based on the virality of those profiles here that you see down below. And there's not much more explanation that literally needs to go about it. You see? So what have we learned, ladies and gentlemen, based on the findings that actually took place in April and May of 2015, right? I know from studies, according to certain experts, this is not from my words, if you get a profile picture that mainly stands out, if you actually try and go towards one that literally has like the highest attention, you'll find one that literally seeks basically like the majority of the pack. According to some big time dating experts, I'm touring the folks that are actually really good at online dating that know this type of ordeal. So we go back to results and go to the scatter that we see here based on all the attention that they're mainly getting. And, basically the higher the counts, it's possible they get like the higher the attention, the higher that, they could go out at the very least, or maybe go ahead and go pound some chicken. saying? You know, get the mallet out. You know, kind of cook some food, go sear some meat, go sear some beef, and deal with that ordeal in that type of way, based on the behaviors. Now, influencer-wise, again, you know, it all depends on popularity and all that stuff. Is it possible that it could be an influencer? Yes, but it could be like another average on the street that may have like an astounding profile, or she could be like a very, very attractive woman that a lot of guys would love to have or fiend to have. So it could vary depending on the mindset of the man. It could vary. It could have like a lot of various reasons why that could be the case when it comes to those findings here, right? Now, the great user profile, getting all the stuff, basically how to get a great user profile and actually trying to stand out. You can see the numbers based on which users actually stood out, but the how based on, you know, pictures and all that other stuff based on what's actually factored, it's literally in a different ball game due to the fact that there's no actual JPGs or other picture files or, you know, thorough profiles actually shown based on what the people look like and what they've done or what their personal stuff is for all the other various reasons. And understandably so, due to the fact that they have to protect their identity and, you know, want to try and make sure their identity is classified and shielded, you know, for protective and safety reasons. So, with that, you know, if you got some folks that's dealing with the online day-to-day, again, this took place in 2015. So a lot of the trends that you see coming by between 2015 and now are way different between one another, especially with the advancement of social media, especially with the rise of TikTok going on, like the rise of YouTube Shorts, all these other social media handles that actually people can go on, and you have AI assisting you now. It's a lot more crazy. It's a lot crazier than it has been in 2015. And that's all I literally had to say from that.
Pas une bitch, j'ai juste envie qu'on me respecte. Et si tu me kiffes, sois juste toi, te prends pas la tête, tu sais. Plus t'es lourd, plus tu loses. Et si tu me saoules, tu bouges. Me fais pas perdre mon temps, j'ai déjà donné avant.
Now I want to come back to this first chart here, and basically want to try and ask some questions on myself, on stuff on this. Now, the question I want to bring up is, can this graph get better? Right? Can this whole visualization ordeal get a lot better? And my answer to you is definitely yes, especially when you're dealing with big data like this. Now, imagine if the user pool increased to 10,000 or 15,000 or even like 100,000 people, right? It's going to require a big server to actually maximize that whole workflow load in order for you to actually do like a huge computation when it comes to the Tableau server, you know, that you can't actually rely off of a personal computer alone, right? It can be done with Tableau or AWS Cloud, however it may be, or even Power BI, and try and get the computation literally down to a T. But you want to try to make sure that you simplify all of this stuff to a T to make sure that it is easily readable for literally the elementary viewer that's trying to see what's really going on, or like some local businessman or businesswoman or some stakeholder that doesn't even understand fully on mathematics or advanced statistics too well. You know, you need to explain this stuff elementary to these guys so that you'll be able to actually fully sell them on what's really going on with the current trends, so that they'll be able to make a thorough final decision when it comes to the thorough research at hand. And you have to try to make sure that you get all the stuff that you need down packed and try to simplify it as much as possible so that it'll be easier for the reader and especially easy for you to understand as well. Even though you've done all the advanced calculations, you personally may have actually done those advanced calculations yourself and actually knocked it out of the woodwork. But when you present to certain folks that aren't of your ilk when it comes to your expertise, it could be a pain in the butt if you're not careful and actually explain this stuff thoroughly well in an elementary level. So I literally want to point this out when it comes to data visualization at the end of the day. So again, The moral of the story, again, as I said before, is you can always get better when it comes to data visualization. When you actually get more comfortable dealing with the software you currently have, whether it's Tableau, whether it's Power BI, however it may be, or even Python, or Mathematica, Maple, MATLAB, lesser extents, AWS Clouds, however it may be. You combine basically a bunch of graphs and trying to use all these mouse clicks to try and see and give basically the average viewer or the elementary viewer an idea of what's really going on when it comes to the storytelling, when it comes to your findings based on that particular topic. So I just want to actually really try to point that out, ladies and gentlemen. You can always get better in data visualization whenever you're in the data science industry. Just when you think you already know some of the stuff you already got, you got another thing coming.
This is how we faço
Do you see